that was me. So I had these twins in the tummy, but the doctor did not say. She said only one child, Dr. Stadler from Ham. And then there were two twins. There were two babies. And one had here on the cheek like a ball. And she's also, look, she was also, actually they looked similar, they looked the same, these both. What I think is that someone did harm this afterbirth child, and the doctors made a ball like my dog has, Buttercup, look, I show you now. I think that doctors do this because my dog has now since many years here also a ball. Look, a little bit, I don't know if you see that here. Here is a little ball. I could also make an operation. It's not hurting him, and it is the same size. This ball which he has there, he got after that I made a big cutterine so he cannot get babies. Castration, yeah. After the castration operation, he had then that little bowl, and that bowl now it's not so big, sometimes it's getting bigger, and I think people make that bowl with an injection. It's like fair, it's not really hard, it is, yeah, and he lives now with that bowl since many years, because I didn't have the money to make the operation again, but I also asked later the doctor, and he said he's fine, He is walking and running around and he's fine with it. So we can leave it. We just see if it's getting bigger or not. And the baby, I talk about this because this second baby had a bowl like the dog here. And I think they made it. They made that bowl and they wanted to harm our family. And maybe my mother sold or paid for that they harmed this baby, so maybe it could be abused. My father could maybe abuse it, that was my thinking, but maybe just that they can pay it, maybe that the hospital can learn that the doctors can learn to make operation, but why must it be in a face, And this poor little thing suffered so much. And she, God has exists when this all is true. But I read all her stories in the internet, and she said her name was Chiara Mare, and I think there's no other child on earth never ever existed with that name, because it was a fantasy name I gave. That's my daddy. So that's the little child. And I show no reason because otherwise the people think I am schizophrenic, and I am not schizophrenic, and that's why we have to show this. This was Tanya, which died also last year. She was also the goddess. And Susan was the goddess. She was the goddess from other children. And this is my Marilyn. Growing, and here we have Susan. I would never post it when it's not, when I don't think it is not important, but it is important, That was for the baby. It was very old. I made new things in it for the children. I made also these cakes all the time. I make big cakes. That's Susan. That's her lips. That is Susan. And now she's dead. I cannot believe that. But she got rich and she had a good life. I know she she got divorced at that time from a man, and then she had a lover, and after the lover she married another Swiss man, and they had a lot of money. They had a house, it was in Switzerland, but then they had enough money she could go home. I don't know where she was from. Thailand, I don't know. She could go home, and they built there also a house with seven rooms, and she made there a yacht, and she was there happy. And once many years later, we went to holidays together. Sorry that I have somewhere other albums. I just wanted to show that to the world because this is important. Here we see the ultrasound. He's like a snake. You see only one child. It is also funny because maybe I don't know what it was inside with the afterbirth, but they asked the name. But the doctor is also not to be blamed because here is only one child to see. I cannot understand. I just don't want to get gaga. So the doctor didn't say that there are coming twins, only one child. You can only see one, and this is the face. Only one child. Where was the other hidden? I don't know. But I am also not a doctor. As I said, the doctor didn't see a second child. And when I look, I don't see a second child too, but there were coming a second child out. That is the fairy tale of this story. That is the thing I can not understand till today, but I was thankful. I was thinking maybe this Susan she knew that my husband has another one, maybe she herself. Later I found out she needed some money and asked him for money. And I think here also about the story from Sarah and Hagar, If I would be Sarah, the first wife of the man, this time in life it changed the story. I went away because I was also in love with another man. So I decided to leave my husband, and I wanted to get divorced and have a new job and have another love and give him another chance. But I was all the time made ill, so it didn't work out that I had another job. So I was happy that my husband still was helping me. I think that story with the Hagar and the Sarah, that is also a hard story. I also was a believer, that you must know, like this Sarah. When they waited, they waited a whole time long, forget that she getting pregnant, but between that, she was also once called from the king and went to the king, this Sarah, and maybe she should not have children because their children could have had another color, for example. Also, I see similarities from these lives, and we are so many years later, and it is funny how they solved the problem and how now we solve the problem. So then maybe someone also, they had at that time maybe doctors, and they closed her so she didn't get children, or who knows, maybe she got also pregnant and got a child on that king's palace, but she returned to this Abraham because maybe she was too ugly for this king to marry her. Anyway, he sent her back to Abraham, and she was hard and asked that he sent the Hagar away in the desert. And what we have the Kaaba there, where so thousands and thousands of Muslims go to the Kaaba, is maybe the grave of Hagar, or maybe it has to do with that life. And Hagar was also left without money, without water in the desert, and this was also still my pain, my fear, that then that I am left also alone. So it is, when a man is good, would be a man is just rich enough to feed both women, because she also was asking them, my husband, for some money, because she got left, she got divorced, and then she went, but then it was only 2,000 Swiss francs, and then she went to the state of Switzerland and they helped her, but she had to pay back and she had to work. And she got work in the fabric work, and she had also, it is also like a searching for water, searching for money, searching for a life. And she found another life. She found another marriage. She found another life, and she could go back home. She found like a payer who paid that, who loved her and paid her a house there at home, and she could save her family. She never invited me there. I wanted that. I would have appreciated that, but she never invited me there. I invited her and Marilyn to go to Croatia and Venice. We had only that 600, which I had. But my husband has to pay me. We did not get divorced because my parents, all the time when I had a job, called and said, she's schizophrenic, she's gaga, she shall not work. And this is mean because this is leading into poorness, this is leading into lack of money, this is leading into nothing good. And we had already children, so my parents harmed my children because they also lied. I was insured all the time, again and again, got insured. There also, at the time before I left my husband, a doctor insured me badly in the shoulder. And I had also like a cancer, but it was blood poisoning, it got like a big, also like a big ball on the shoulder, but you could see through it because he was breaking the needle of the injection in the bone. She was jumping at me like a panther and making the injection, and then the needle break in the bone, and this was leading to that blood poisoning, which had to be only an operation could save my life then at that time. But this has nothing to do with schizophrenic. All this is not schizophrenic. It's all happening. It was also not a film. It was all happening in real. It was my real life. And I can also be an artist, and I do also films for the internet, but I always make the difference. This is life. This is my life. This is real. And this is now just a story. I just tell a story or something like this. But for me, I don't know if this is true. We never know. Does someone know which color Abraham had, if he was white or brown? And in my opinion, when I read the Bible, when I was a child, I just thought that Abraham is white and Sarah was white and Hagar looked like her. In my head, I saw her. And I felt in this life, when I was a child and reading that story, so much pity with the Hagar, and I said, this Sarah was really hard. But in my life now, I think I can, even in another life, even if I would have been the Sarah, not have been so cruel. But maybe I could, because I was fearing that I'm gonna be sent in the desert. I don't know. People change when they are afraid to death. When I'm in the position that she gets my husband, she say, "Ha ha ha! I get children, you not." And in this life, it was the opposite. She maybe we don't know. We don't know, but maybe it could just be because she could also not become pregnant, and she went to a doctor with the first husband. They got that crystal, the first girl. That girl was the same age like my first girl, and they went together to the gymnastic, mother-child gymnastic. There I met her, them both, and then we got friends. not lesbian friends, just friends. The children played together and we talked together. But I was inviting her to my home because on that farm I was sometimes a little bit lonely, only with work. And so she was such a sunshine. She was such a happy person and singing and enjoying life, making my nails, showing me how to make nails. And we were jogging and running a lot together, and the children were playing together. So that was our relationship, not nothing, not rainbow, not lesbian, no, just friendship. But we were thinking also, talking about it, what if we would be both the wife of Theo, and in our Christian religion that is not allowed that a man has two wives, but the Muslims, as I hear, can have 4 wives, so it would have been possible that he married both wives. Anyway, I was so happy that she was in our life, and even if she slept with my husband, I don't care. I would not mind, because that is like my husband and me would have. They could also have invited me. Maybe I would have done it with them. He was like me. It was okay when I loved her, just like me or like him. I didn't want that one has to die. And now it hurts so many years later she died, but I also don't know if I die soon. Yeah, I didn't murder her. I'm not in that country. I've never been there. Yeah, I had nothing to do with her anymore, and never heard from her anymore. So it's just sad. I cannot really believe that she's dead, because she has so red cheeks, but I never really believe that people are dead. I always think, stand up, come out of that coffin. In my thoughts, I just say stand up and come out. And I was these days also like lying down and thinking myself, I can no more. I have no more. I can no more fight. I have no more the power. I just want to lie down. And now she's lying down. But I didn't think about her. It's just about me, because my parents still fight against me. And I talk to the whole world because my parents are like the evil part in my life. And it's not good that now she died, because she was good, She, in my opinion, that let me tell us again. It can be, because then when she had the first child and the man, and we met in that gym with the children. And there, at that first time when we met, she was going to the doctor to get another child, because she and her husband wanted to have a second child. And only after that, they found out that they want to get divorced. And only later she had then a boyfriend. And after that, she had then another man, and they had no more children. So, but it could have been that then when she went to the doctor, and the doctor made babies for her, and then the divorcement came between the babies, so she could no more use the babies herself, and then she gave these babies to me, because she didn't want to stay with that first husband. So it was like, but this is all spirituality and what you think and what could be, and it's not proven. Nothing is proven. Only a DNA test would prove anything. That my husband is the father or is not the father, or that they are twins or are not twins, or that Susan was the mother or not, and now she's dead in the grave, and then we can no more prove it. But when I asked her that, it was that very moment when I showed this picture. In that moment, on that day, I really asked her if she is the mother, and we were talking over all these things. This is August Sieber. He's from Bern. They have been very special religion. He was always visiting us, studying the Bible with my parents. Maybe this man saved my life once. You never know. So when on this very day, on these days, the day with the birthday cake, on this day I remember I asked her, I really asked her, did you have something with my husband? Is the Marilyn your child? There I did not know that, no more know that they are twins, because in the hospital, between the birth and my going home was the operation, the castration of me. I paid 2,000 Swiss francs for my own castration, because I was thinking 3 children is enough, because my husband didn't want any more children with me. He also maybe wanted to get divorced from me, like her man from her. And so I made this castration, because I said 3 children are also enough. But I said, I was fighting. I said, we have another child there. And then no one said, it's my child or your child. And then I had this castration. And then the evening before I went home, the night before I went home, suddenly the nurse came in and she looked Chinese and she said, do you want another child? And then, what's this for a question? Do you want? She must have said, it's your second child, or not, do you want another child? Anyway, I said then, no, it's yours, it's not mine, because my husband said he's not the father and it's not our children. And he said that to the nurse, he ordered only one child. So if he ordered a child, he did not make the child. So he buy a child. He bought it, like in the Migros. He bought it for me, so he did not made it really. So he was cheating me. Maybe he made that with Susan, or the doctor made that with Susan, and they took it out of her body into my body, and he was paying for that, and that's why he paid only for one child, not for two. I was so confused there, because she asked, do you want a second child? Then I had to pay, and then if I would have said yes, I could not have gone home. I must have gone then to the police, and in a house for wives with no man, or I don't know. I really actually don't know what I had to do then, because my husband would not accept a second child. So I didn't try this way out. You never know what is the other way. We know the story how it was. Also with Sarah and Hagar there. We know what they tell. We don't know what it would have been when it would have been different. So I only know then I said, no, it's yours. And in this moment, I believed it is not my child. It's the child of another person. Because I was also reading that night. I was seeing that child there. And someone else had my child. I don't know why. That's also such a silly situation. My child was not in his bed. I wanted to go to her, to bring her in my bedroom for sleeping, and she was not there. But now it's confusing me. It's really now hard confusing me, because then I gave the Marilyn to the hospital. Sorry that I talked it out right now. It is when, because I know that only child that was in the hospital, they are named here on the arm. and she was named Chiara Mare. And then I was thinking that's a Spanish name. Chiara Mare, what a name, must be Spanish. And then the nurse came in with the other child, so the other child was just Marilyn. But I was so confused because she said, "Do you want another child?" That I didn't realize it, so I gave Marilyn, the real Marilyn, to the hospital. But I didn't also take the Quiara out of the bed. So where did I go? I went just in my bedroom and with no child. And that today, and then I asked the sister to bring me my child. Maybe they brought me just the Marilyn. I don't know. Of course, I took the Marilyn home because otherwise they must have changed the label on the arm because I took the Marilyn home. Somewhere there should be that proof. Somewhere, but they make me so confused. So also, that was my doctor. She didn't see that I have twins in the tummy. Why? No one knows. And here we see that I didn't steal a child and that I took at the end home this child which was named Marilyn. This is the real, you can take, you see, that's the real thing which was on her arm, on the baby's arm. So I took home the real child, the real Marilyn. I didn't take Chiara home. The afterbirth, no, so the first child I took home. I'm so sorry, for God as it is. I'm so sorry. I was crying out the whole summer when I was reading that story from the Gorda 66. I was crying and crying and crying and feeling guilty for letting her in that hospital there. But I'm still not healthy enough myself to really work and no help now them. But they have now beautiful children. She Gorda, this is a happy end because she is now also herself a child like she was. A very beautiful girl also. So I am now, and this was the sister, and this was her friend at that time. He has also a little bit, so I say hamsterbacken, like the mouses. He was the friend for a little bit. This one looked like Prince William from England. Oh, you can see now. I just show it now because he's looking a little bit like he would be the daddy of Prince William from England. I always think maybe they also, or the children, or the semen of children. Maybe this one gave his semen, and maybe this one is the real father. No, I don't know. No, I don't want to say it, but it's a little bit, I think, a similarity. So I had nothing to do with him, but I knew him before my sister knew him, and he loved me. He wanted me. I'm not him. I wanted someone else. But here no more. Here at that time we have actually been enemies. He was then in love with my sister, and he was not such a good friend. Yeah, you can tell why. Because of the computer story, he said I'm dumb, and he believed my mother that I'm schizophrenic, and he thought that schizophrenic people are dumb, but that's not true. By the way, schizophrenic people can be very intelligent. It's something else. And we bought a computer, and he sold us a broken computer and wanted 1,000 Swiss francs, so that's why he was not an enemy of us. He cheated us, and my husband said, I am done, but if a television like this would not go, you press and you want that it goes, and it comes nothing like this black. Even if you want to let him go, then it's broken, and it was very broken. It was dead. This computer was dead, and he still had 1,000 Swiss francs. So that's why he was not my friend and our friend. And my husband said, you broke that computer. So my husband believed that I broke the computer, but it was not the truth. So I don't talk anymore with my sister, and I don't want to have anything to do with my sister and this man. She has now another man, but it's better we have also nothing to do, because my sister has just a mean character. I don't want to become mean too, but all believed always her, and I'm the one who is left alone, and all my friends die. So the good ones die, and the bad ones, the evil ones, the killers overlive, like always, I guess. And also, again, to the Sare, at the end, she got that child when she was about 80 years, when they say, from the angels came, and you can also understand that in 1 year you will become a child. Who knows, maybe they made sex with her. But also another story, who knows, maybe this has been doctors, these two angels, and they took out from a young woman the baby in their stomach. So they have been doctors, they made the same as with me. They took out from a young woman the babies and put that babies in the Sarah's stomach. So that was then the Ismail. So maybe Ismail would also not even be the child of the Sarah. But maybe when she was young, she was also, as I said, I only know from one story, she was once at the king's house because she was beautiful and he desired her, or he wanted her to dance for him, or I don't know, I cannot remember the whole story, but I'm just thinking about my story and their story. She got the child with 80 years old. We think that is a fairy tale or a wonder from God, but it doctors could do it. Doctors could take out the child from another woman and put it in her. Then she got birth to a child, yes, but it must not be her child. And later, she died, and they put her in a grave. And I also was thinking, maybe he said something strange. I want to put her somewhere out of my face. This is hard. My dead woman out of my face. Put in a grave. He bought the grave, the grave, and put her in a grave, and there someone else who would have loved her could have taken her out. Maybe she got the second life after Abraham. Maybe they're all vampires and live still under us. Who knows? No, I have a lot of fantasy. That's not schizophrenic, just fantasy. Okay, I go through all that what I did. All these films, vampires and things, comes also a little bit into me because I'm so alone. But all the time there is to, like you work out. I try to work out things which were not so clear in my life before I die. And I want that Quiara 66 or Marilyn or the other children can know this. So it's not yet a film for selling for Hollywood. It's more a film for me to find out all the truths. But these truths now I will never find out, because now maybe the real mother of Marilyn and Quiara 66 is dead. She had at that time also a dog in the same size as this dog. This dog now is brown, and the other dog was white and had black points. And he was always barking at my husband and biting him in the trousers. So she also had a dog So I say prayers to her soul. I wish her soul peace and that she can go to heaven if she's really dead, and if she find another life, I will never talk about her again. If I see her again, don't fear me. That's the last time. It's because of the Quiara 66. She's not the one to be blamed. What happens to Quiara, I think she's not the one who is to be blamed. And but she didn't also help. So when I asked her, is there a second child? And there was another child in the hospital who looked similar like Marilyn. She did not say, yes, there is another child or something. She did not really react, just smile. So I didn't get an answer, but maybe she didn't know, because you see that here and you see what the doctor said to me, there's only one child and we cannot. Maybe she also did not know, and she visited me. I did not even know it. Remember that she visited me in the hospital. I made this birth things here. Why is this picture here? Because the promise with the child was that she gets a room with roses. Here I painted roses, but Marilyn got then. Up to that time, in that old 300 years old farmhouse, there was not another room for the child. And during I was pregnant, we made that room to a beautiful room with pink roses, with a tapete, like a paper you glue on the wall. That was there, but it was well done. And she got a very beautiful room there. And that was the promise from my husband. If you get the Marilyn, you get also the room with roses. And I got more than the room. I got this flat and he's still paying for me. And Susan is now dead. And all these people, I have no more contact with them. Yeah, that is such a shame. So I hope Marilyn is alive. I hope my children are alive. It was the older sister. And today also in the internet was shown a dead blonde young man. And I hope it's not this one. I hope it's not Simon. And I don't see why they want to kill my children and the friends of me. If I did something, then they shall kill me or ask me. And it hurts just so much that I just have to talk over it. I hope that they didn't kill him. But she's also dead. So I will be next, I guess. Not my parents. They will live forever. Maybe they are vampires. Maybe they stole some money somehow and they can just afford to live forever. Possible. All is possible. Who knows? We never know our parents and we never know our children, right? And we don't even know the men's or women's we married. You can never know anything about everyone. And the thoughts are also not always the truths, and what we feel is also not always the truth. And in our thoughts, people who appear, or if you love someone, it's sometimes like you feel connected. You can never be sure that this is not a demon, that this is a lie, not a lie, that this is not some other person. So what is truth and what not? Is this truth or not?